What is up, everybody? Welcome back to 9 to 5 Gamers, and I should be saying that to myself because I've been gone a long time, but needed to take a little bit of time off, and hey, that's good for the mental health, so make sure you guys are taking care of your mental health. Take some time off whenever you need it. Today we are doing a video, and I'm wearing green because St. Patrick's Day is coming up, and I'm excited for that. I don't really do anything on St. Patrick's Day. Maybe you guys are the same. But I know that usually on St. Patrick's Day, people go out and just go drinking and stuff like that. So I wanted to come up with a list of games that were kind of centered around that theme of St. Patrick's Day. And you're going to notice that the games are going to start off very heavy and become very, very light towards the end because people on St. Patrick's Day like to go out and drink. So this is probably going to be in order of sobriety level. Like, you're probably going to be like, hey, if you're not going out anywhere, play these games. But then as it starts to go on throughout the night, you'll start to notice they start to diminish. But regardless of that, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let's just get this list started. So my number one great game to play on St. Patrick's Day is Feast for Odin. That's right. Feast for Odin is an amazing worker placement game by the great Uwe Rosenberg, and man, happens to be his best game. And if you are looking for a really fun game to play, Feast for Odin is one of those games. But man, this game is a lot. There's a lot of rules, a lot of stuff you got to learn. Easy way that you can go ahead and start playing right now is to go to Board Game Arena. They have the game on there, and it's very easy to play. But Feast for Odin, very heavy game, very awesome. But hey, man, look at this. Right off the bat, what they got there? They got the mead or the ale. I don't know what it is. But yeah, they're drinking, and that's part of the game. So, but it's a really good worker placement game, and takes place in, you know, that region. I don't know if you're from that region. No disrespect intended. But another great drinking game is Viticulture. I'm saying I might as well have just called this 10 great drinking games, but it's really not. It's more so just kind of like themed around that. And this is a wine game called Viticulture. Highly recommend playing this. This is one of my favorite Euros of all time. Worker placement, great game. I do recommend getting the Tuscany expansion because it adds a brand new board and it adds like an extra season. And to me, I just didn't understand why that season wasn't in the original game, because the original game was like okay for me. Me and my friends were kind of like, I don't get the hype. Then we played with Tuscany and we were like, I get it. Great game where you age your wine and you go through 4 seasons and stuff like that. And it's got this cool mechanic with the workers where all the workers can go to places, but if somebody's worker's already there and there's not an available spot, you can't go there. But if you have a grande worker, you can actually use the grande worker to go to a spot even if somebody's there, which is really cool. I love that mechanic because it gives you an opportunity to take actions, and it's very strategic because you only can do that one time, so you have to be careful how you use it. I love Viticulture. Me and my wife love Viticulture. We usually will get some like sparkling, what is that? What is it? Sparkling what? Cider. Sparkling cider. And then we just play. And oh yeah, and with, what is it called? Charcuterie board. The charcuterie board. And that's a great game to play. And so that's awesome. Here's another great game. And again, Viticulture, significantly less heavy than Feast for Odin, but you know, it's up there as a Euro. But this game isn't as heavy, but it's very, like, strategy wise, but it's very, very good game. I really love Distilled. This was on my top 10 for a while because it actually was really, really fun. I've very much enjoyed playing this. I have enjoyed teaching it to people. People who have played it have loved it, wanted to get a copy of it for themselves. Just a really cool game where you're making spirits, and when you're making these drinks, you get different fruits and sugars and you put them into the drink, and depending on what you make or what ends up in there after you do a little quick shovel and remove remove the top, remove the bottom, you end up with a drink. And if it matches up with something on your flight list of different drinks that you have, you end up making a drink, and then you sell them for money. Some of them you age in your cellar. It's a really cool game, and it's all kind of card driven, but it's very, very fun. And the production value on this game is insane. Such a good game. Highly recommend you get a copy of that. Distilled is up there. Next, Taverns of Tiefenthal. Taverns of Tiefenthal is a really, really cool looking game. I remember a lot of people had recommended it, and it's so easy to play. It's a lot easier than I think some of the other games, but still complex enough that there's some decision making and things you have to do, but really it's not too heavy, not too crazy. But it's a really fun game where you're running this little tiny tavern, and as you're doing that, you're serving customers and different things like that, and you have this cool mechanic where you have like a deck of cards and you're pulling customers out of there and seating them. But if you don't have enough tables to sit your customers, then you kind of ends your turn and stuff like that. And there's a lot of cool little mechanics and things that go in there. I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but it's a really fun, easy game to play, and it's a great game, and things are starting to not sober up anymore after this one. So the next one on my list is Isle of Skye. Isle of Skye is a really fun game. The front cover, you don't really get a kind of an idea, so I guess I could flip it on the back and show you guys. But it is a tile placement game, and it's pretty cool. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Carcassonne, where you're building up this little island, and as you're building up this island, you have like this mechanic where you're auctioning and stuff like that, and it's super simple. It's not very complicated at all. I found this game to be very, very fun, but I feel like it shines at higher player counts. This is one of those games that you want to play with more than 2 people. At 2 people, you need to use some expansion content to make it a little bit better, but it's just not as good. I think this game really shines past 3. So like 3 is fine, 4 is great, 5 is amazing. So the more players for this one, the better. But Isle of Skye, amazing little game. Kind of reminds me of Carcassonne, laying down tiles, building up this island, doing some auctions and stuff like that, and selling these different tiles and things. It's really, really fun. I really like Isle of Skye. It was a very good game. Next up is a game that, get it? It's the So Clover. Got the lucky 4-leaf clover. But So Clover is actually a really fun game that you can play. It's a little more thinky. It's made by the same people who made Just One. It's much more thinky than Just One. Like, you really got to think about words and stuff like that. So this is where things start to go, okay, after this point, you know, you probably just need to play something a little lighter, right? So this game is really, really fun. Basically, you get a clover and you put these little squares that have words around them, and you put them around the clover, and as you do that, as you can see, as you do that, you'll have to link the 2 words together and figure out what's a word that links these 2 words together. Then after that, once you write your 4 words on these little clover edges, and you have all 4 words that you wrote down, you get to just take all the squares off. You get to take an extra one from the deck, mix them all together, lay them out, and then everybody has to try to piece together, okay, which of these squares, and all the squares have 4 sides, because that's how many sides a square has, but all of them have words on all 4 sides, and you have to turn them and stuff like that and try to figure out, it's like, man, does this one work with this word? It's like he wrote the word poop, right? And you're like, well, brown, poop is brown, so I'm gonna put the brown there. And the other part is, I don't know, log, brown log, maybe log. Well, then if I put the log there, then this word doesn't fit with that one, so it can't be log. And then you're just like going around, and it's really funny to try to figure out these little clues and stuff like that. I love So Clover, very good game. Next up, and this is a game that I love because you don't have to be very sober to play this game. Dice Miner, super easy to play. This is one of the games that I'll recommend at 2 players, because with 2 players, you're actually rolling a bunch of dice. Like, you have like a handful of dice, and you're just chucking dice everywhere, right? Like, it's really fun, very easy to play, and it's got little beer cups in it, and if you roll the beer cups, you get to say cheers, and it lets you, I forget what it lets you do. What does it let you do? Somebody in the comment section will let you know what it does, but I remember if you roll the beer mugs, you can later on like re-roll those or change them or something like that. I forget what those are, but it's really, really fun, and you get to re-roll it and then like give it to like your neighbor or something like that, or you get to take any dice you want from the little mountain. It's got a little mountain full of dice, and you're going to be drafting dice into your pool, and you build up the dice and count how many points you have. It's really, really fun. This one, you don't have to be super in the right mind to play it, but Dice Miner is really just dice chucking greatness. I love Dice Miner. Another great game that you can play at the pub or at the tavern, and it's Skull. And that's because Skull is literally just like coasters, right? Just don't put your beers or anything on there, because if you do, probably ruin these things forever, and I don't think that would be a good idea. But everybody's gonna get, everybody's going to get a few of these. I guess it's only 3, right? No, it should be 4. Where are the rest of them at? Oh, they're all at the bottom. What in the world? Who did this? I don't know who put this game away, but they did a terrible job. Probably was me. Here we go. Okay, cool. So everybody's going to get, in Skull, everybody's going to get 4 coasters. And when you're holding them up in your hand, all you see is the backs of the coasters. But on the front, everybody has 3 flowers. 3 flowers. There's 3 flowers and a skull. There we go. 3 flowers and a skull. And then, so the idea is you're going to be placing down one of your coasters, right? And then somebody else will place down a coaster, right? And if they want to start the bidding process, what they'll do is they'll say, I bet that I can flip 2 coasters without running into a skull. And so then they pick from all of the people playing the game whose coaster they want to flip. And every time they get a flower, that's good because you got the flower, you're good. But if you flip a skull over, then you end up messing up and you lose one of your coasters randomly. It's such a fun game, man. Like, I honestly think this is one of my favorite, like, just fun little bluffing games where you've got to try to trick people into making them think there's a skull. It's like, don't take mine, there's definitely a skull under there. It's definitely the type of game that you'll like to play on St. Patrick's Day with some friends over and stuff like that. Very, very good. And then the last two games, I'll put them out together. Don't mind the little sticker up here. It was $10, obviously. But I've got Happy Salmon, Taco Cat, Goat Cheese Pizza. These games, like, I don't know, man. I just picture these games just being so much more fun when everybody is just out of their mind. And so this is the type of game you'd like to play on St. Patrick's Day with friends over. It's not complicated. Taco Cat, Goat Cheese Pizza. Say the words, put down the card, and then if the card matches the word, put your hand on top of the stack. That's it. Super fun game. Crazy, wild, zany. Every time we play this, it's a huge hit. And then last is Happy Salmon. Happy Salmon's an easy game to play. You basically, everybody gets a little deck of cards and you flip a card over and it's going to give you like a gesture. It's going to be a fist bump or a high five or a switch places, and you got to run around the table. You definitely don't want to sit down for this game. And then there's the other one, Happy Salmon, where you got to slap somebody's forearm like that. But Happy Salmon's just really silly, fun, zany type of game where everybody's just having a good time, falling over. It sounds like it's a rip snorting good time. And I played it before. I think it's really great. But that's it, man. Those are my lists. And as you could tell, you went from very heavy euros down to Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. So who knows? Maybe this might be, maybe pick like 2 or 3 from the list here to play on your next St. Patrick's Day and make sure nobody's going to get the little pinchies on you. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, like, comment, subscribe. As always, it's been an honor. It's been a pleasure. Love you guys. I will see you guys later. Peace out.